year during a visit of the exchange program of the Academy of Science here. And since that time, sometimes we say that time is going fast, but not for the computers.
Professor grades. Dr. Yadav, Mrs. Yadav, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the University of Göttingen and on behalf of the chemical societies in Germany, I'm the chairman of the steering committee of all chemical societies, and particularly personally, I would like to congratulate you on your 60th birthday. And I would like to wish you a long life, happiness, which is quite important to be productive, and of course, scientific success. Now, many things have been said. And I'd just like to mention, if you just take a look at the output, the productivity of IICT under the leadership of Professor Yadav, it's immense. But the sheer number is not so important. But I know that last year, nearly 60 papers have appeared in journals with the impact factor over 4. And there are only a few journals which have this impact factor. I think this is a world record. Now, let me just make 3 remarks. The first remark is I was here about 12 years ago for the first time, and of course I met Dr. Yadav, he invited me, and he said, okay, please take a look at this young boy, Dr. Chandrasekhar. And so Dr. Chandrasekhar came to my place, to my suite. In the evening we talked about chemistry, and I decided to take him as a postdoc. And this was really a good move because we had a beautiful publication on hybrid natural products dedicated to Lord Ganesha. The second point is, when I became 60, I asked my daughter, she's a professor at Stanford University in the United States in medicine, now I am an old man. And she said, no, she was laughing. From the medical standpoint, you are as young as a person of 35. And she said, you might become old with the age of 80, but when I look at your colleagues, 80 is not the limit, I would say 100, and I would like to come back at the age at your birthday with the age of 100. Anyhow, so it's a nice game in Germany to say one is much younger than 60 and only 35 or 45 or 25. I think stay to your age. I think it's beautiful. And then the last point, I'm not in the position to make any suggestion to you, but I think it's rather important. We just take a look at Dr. Yadav, his power, his strength, his ideas. It's a waste that he should go with the age of 60. Now he got a prolongation, I know that, maybe I'm not allowed to say that, but anyhow, I think if you just take a look at Germany, I had a special contract so I could stay until 68. And then, of course, it changed the system. Then professors were allowed to stay only until the age of 65. Now they changed it again. Now everybody has to stay until 68. And now we have a new program, and I can stay, what do we say, 75. So we have a new program, and I would like to ask you actually to use this type of program to keep people like Dr. Yadav to stay in science. And I'm so proud, I'm so happy, I have to say, for the future of India. I think it's excellent that you have people like Dr. Yadav and many, many of your colleagues, I think, who are really important for science and for chemistry in India, and I think the future in chemistry in India is extremely bright. Thank you so much that I can be a member of the community. Go ahead.
I don't have a speaker.
So now the technique is working again. So as I said, I prefer to speak by slide and so on than by word. So first of all, happy birthday to you from all your friends in France, obviously from the joint lab, but for many other friends you have everywhere over French. Our connection started, in fact, in January 99, when I came here for the first time to India. And since that time, I think this is the connection between REN and ICT is ever-growing connection with some CFIPRA project, many exchange of students, nothing to say that Dr. Yadav hosted here more than 50 French students during the last 10 years. And of course, we have this joint laboratory. The story started a long time back, and I want to pay tribute at this time to two other very important colleagues for in the French cooperation. Professor Goverdan Mehta was here, and Professor Chandrasekaran was here also, because from the very beginning we could start this network, East Coast network, where we have meetings every year in France or in India, which help the French and Indian scientists to start cooperation program. And this is a picture I selected from a GIF meeting, and you recognize some people here, including, unfortunately, some of our friends who passed away in the meantime, unfortunately. In this CIFCOS meeting, Dr. Yadav and ICT hosted the meeting in ICT here, and you see a meeting. And later on we had the meeting in Dinar, and you see again the connection here. Now, in fact, I think the best accomplishment we have done during the last few years here, and again this is due to all the work that Dr. Yadav did, is this in the French joint laboratory here. Of course, you recognize Hyderabad, and this is the Parliament of Brittany here. And this fact, after a lot of work, this joint lab, the signature of the MOU was made in February 2008 here in Delhi during the visit of President Sarkozy, and you recognize some people here, but for those of you who don't know them, this is Ministry for Education in France, the DG for CNRS, and the president of my university, and of course you have the Indian colleague here. Then later on, in February, we had the inauguration by your DG here, and this is a day that I'm sure many of you here will not forget, or didn't forget, as a very, very nice day. This in the French lab was built by Dr. Yadav here on the top of this floor, an extra floor here to make this lab. And in this lab you have not only Indian students, but you have also French students who come for some time, and we had a lot of exchanges in this area. We had already a first one-day symposium at ICT in July 2008, to this symposium. And since I promised not to be too long, I will finish by very interesting things. A few years ago, when I was in the metro in Paris, I could see this plate, that which announced the chemical browsers, and this is in a very famous place in Paris, Paris Zenith, and this was already full. That's a place where you have some singers and players and so on. I really didn't know what was chemical browsers here. In fact, you have two chemical browsers here. But the key is, when I asked my kid, do you know chemical browsers? Say, of course we know chemical browsers. These are pop music, rock music singers. And you see that Dr. Yadav is already training here himself. To finish, I would say something. Many people here spoke about the gene of Dr. Yadav, and they are extremely right. He never says no, and he will not say no to me now. But because there is another gene, that a bit small gene, so so that you forget about this gene. But as a foreigner, I could see this gene, very small gene. I call it the gene of the small memento. Everyone coming to ICT for a meeting should have a small memento. No other choice, you know. So on this occasion, I came with a small memento from France, which is a paint from some places